2. Anyways, we're gonna go back to where was it? Oh, great, it's this one. I got rushed out of there and all that. Sorry. We'll get to that quest here in a second then. Was it this one? No. There is something up with the forum where we found something about it. And the fact that oh, hold on. That way you guys are able to hear me. We did find out that there is something we found out about the Charlene's history, Idleshire, and other things that didn't quite make sense until now. So we've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amaroth firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the ether, the worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. That's kind of vague. Complete destabilization of creation magics. That's also kind of true. I think. I wouldn't say they're primals, though. Unless, well, we haven't seen any creatures like that before, so maybe we could say that. I believe Hyland the Zodiac were summoned after the final days had arrived, quite deliberately, in fact. If we are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics... Okay, so it was creation magics. Oh, 1 second. We are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics run rampant is what first comes to mind. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Stoller surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note, which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. However, no, you can answer this one. No, I'm pretty confident. I do think... I'm trying to remember when we did the Emerald dungeon. I could do it like right now if I really wanted to. I think there was a mention of a keening sound. It's been a while since I've done Emerald, but I do believe that is something. But it was engulfed by disaster all at once. I think that's right. Ah, yes. The Emeraldines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. Okay, yeah, I do remember hearing about that. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually resounded all across the star, and not even Amarok was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Numenones, Mammoths, and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac, they summoned Heidelin, they knocked Dalamud from the sky. If I remember correctly, the first thing they did to try to stop the calamity was they summoned Zodiac. Then they summoned Heidelin. So I think that's right. Yep. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life spread it anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had the Nods and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Heideling. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of the events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with these towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? See, I think that's where I was thinking, or getting the idea of summoning primals. For them, those were primals of their own, but like for our primals, it's Ifrits, Odin, Titan, Garuda, all that. That's what I was thinking here. I didn't think it'd be really creation magics that much. And plus, I didn't see any towers in Amarant. Maybe they didn't need it? Or perhaps, actually, the towers are only supposed to be replicas of trying to bring back what happened in the final days. Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for your Stola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned the source's reflections from the Chiron oracles for its potential to cause panic and confusion. That tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuno with the knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. You labor for what feels like an age as Ustola's research assistant. Oh dear, you look exhausted, but what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Now, time to find out that cutscene that Alize and Graha were talking about that we missed. Right, about Desi and Annex, that's what it was called. Never mind. I guess we're not gonna be able to see that. Maybe. I don't know. I would think that would be considered main story, but sure. I mean, isn't it? Discussion of their respective family situations. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not gonna be able to show that. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm curious to know it was myself, because I missed it too. Alright, here we go. Seat at the last stand. Alize appears in desperate need of a study break. Ready for a tea break, Mason? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the hardware, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Okay. Alright. I'm down with that. Busy as ever, I see. A very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Tlaferoi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alize is now accompanying you, keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Alize behind by entering a different area, putting too much distance between you, or by speaking with her and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Alize accompany you again, return and speak with her at the original location. Are any of those little blue things gonna pop up here or no? That doesn't appear to be the case. Yeah, nope, it does not. I was hoping to have one of those little special conversation boxes that they have. What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Tulafaroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear. And wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I've heard you were disowned for helping outsiders, indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Mason. Alright, let's see here. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on Tulafaroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunato that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of The Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Atheno had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately, there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected the complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortunato may have been, the news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions, and only Charlene has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn, unfortunately... yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appeared to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlene, aren't you? Then if you will know your face, we should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? That's the spirit. Pay attention now. I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for the one for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. This water's edge. I think this is... that's one way to do it. There we go. Oh, my tea set. Lovely. Thank you. The Talafa... Who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. I think this guy was the... Ah, finally, 2468, let's dig in, no time to waste. What? The Talaferoy? Ah yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will those fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. By all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talaferoy make good on their audacious threats, then many uncategorized rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle? Away from the gossips and their wagging tongues? Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, how being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
You want to go check it out, don't you? A labyrinth descent. Alize is excited to share your revelations. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Nomenon. I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Welcome back. been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Justola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what he and Alize learned at the Last Stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Charlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction of being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale? I do not think it a stretch to conclude the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. What should we expect down there? Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. I think we should think about what we'll be expecting down there. Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. Oh, come on. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there. I'll show you where the entrance is. Okay. I thought it was over here, but never mind. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alize and try not to fall behind. Off we go then. Okay. pleasant here amongst the trees. But we really should move along. You're the one walking. Now we run. Try to keep up. Oh, okay. Alright. Keep to the path. Straight ahead. Cross this bridge. Up here. Rostra, not far from now. Oh. I got sprint. Here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Oh, what? Oh, we need to go inside. Can't enter that way. Oh, wait, no, we can. What? Was I just not close to the door? I guess that's what it was it? Yeah, I wasn't close to the door. Whoops. Well, this is certainly something. There we go. We're all here now? Yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift, and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Okay. Oh, this is music from...
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
This music is definitely the music I heard from the benchmark. I think also when you're retiring to your room, that music is also played in the benchmark too. I'm trying to remember where it's from, or which part it was, but this is nice relaxing music, for sure.
But I assure you that we are beneath Charlian itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
Nice.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Kryl, you okay?
Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Are you sure you're okay, Kryl? Holy crap, this is an actual area. You here to help or give me more headaches because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Aaron has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Let me think. The Rhea seeds should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, Cerbleberry 1060, Hayward 1061. Ugh, my head feels like it's stuffed with motor grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for the Girabanian carrots? What then? Exchange with Kative has taught you about the large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore in fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. With no warning at all. This mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout. Preparing for the next big expansion. Your exchange with Domin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Oh wait, where's... Oh, there's Kryl. Right. Sure, find us with Kryl. Any luck? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Glorified Ratcatcher. Crowd appears lost in thought. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who tasked them to do it. If you're game, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! You wish to help me find the marmots? I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name is Aaronville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, capture these Nagsian marmots as a trial. I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack, gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so you'll need to widen your search. We'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. There we go. The road nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. Oh, this is turning out to be very bad. That was the wrong one. So is there no compass anymore? Is that what I'm understanding here? Also, just what exactly do they mean by collection? Is there no longer a way to track it? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Is there no longer any way to track these kinds of things at all now? Or am I just missing it here? And nope, they decided to go big again for this one. Jeez. Okay then. I'll just toss this out. So I don't know the place to really put it. Use this slot for something else. I'll just put that right there. I'll use this thing for something else. There we go. Now it's even. Also, this is Garuda fighting music, so Garuda mouse. Where is this mouse though? Was it up there? I just didn't see it or something. go. I'm in the area. What? Building or what? Ow. Oh, not in the building. Oh. Okay. Here. Bottom area. Oh, it's not. What the hell? Can I even get up there? I don't think I can reach it. I mean, I should be seeing one of these. Like, oh, you sneaky piece of crap. Are you kidding me here? Maybe not in range. There we go. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Sweet. We got one. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 accounted for. Ah, there's the Ardmommet out. Wait a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of Labyrinthos. Now in perpetuity, the same officials who've had us working day and night of late. The honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the 2 conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are. Is this the gleaner you mentioned, the one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I am Kryle, of the students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we've made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls, other animals to capture, and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for our services. For your services. Sorry. Did you learn anything new from our friend there? So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operations was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world, out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophoroi's declaration? What was it? Or was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archelon? From there we can reach the lower... Kryl? What's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. There was that sound though. I'm not sure what that was, but at least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archelon. We followed the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Behold the Archelon. As Numenor serves as Charlene's literary archive, so does the structure house the cities. As Numenor serves as Charlene's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archelon contains a physical history of Charlene's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Boots are better. There we go. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. There we go. I have so many gemstones from doing fates, it's ridiculous, but none of them are basically useful in any way, so I'll just hold on to them until I find something good for it. Archelon Custodian. Greetings, we are here to pursue the Archelon's vaults. Or peruse? Sorry. You are clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian. But is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case at present. However, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved with the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended. I am afraid for the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What, so this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time it will be too late, and we were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for the moment, shall we? Students of Baldessian. So he knows about that. But he obviously isn't a big fan of them either. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. Or peruse this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us speak around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Speak to people outside of the Archelon. Bemused students. Am I taking a lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Arshalan, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Squeal, squeal. Oh, that's a little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until Arshalan is open again. If it's that mouse I just caught, I'm gonna be very... No, whatever. You know what? It's fine. If it is that mouse, who cares? There we go. Bone Weary Worker. That sounds like a good person to talk to. What's that? Take you down on the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though shouldering a large pack and engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Oh, it's you again. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. You wish to help me with this too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green and its cry a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with this sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Search your surrounding for the hornbill. You may... Okay, so this is just another thing here. Oops. Oh, caw. There it is. Got it. What do you mean? Sedate the wrong word. That's a caw. Oh, for crying out loud. You gotta be kidding me here. Okay. Caw, caw. Oh. Oh, green bird. Oh, for crying out loud. What, this thing? There we go. I didn't see green there. My bad. There we go. Great.
Fair shot.
Oh, voice acting.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers hand-picked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Might one of us go then?
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? While slavering beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Medial circuit. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. It was somewhere over there. Oh, wow, okay. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident, nothing of consequence at least, and as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the Meteo Circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumption holds true that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Oh my god, I knew that was a special kind of monster right there. Yeesh. And it's hostile too. I got some experience on that. Aha! Now I know where we are. This is Moral Agronomics. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might take it to the Agora. Foods so exotic, you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It is possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can do, see what you can coax from workers. The rest of us will do the same or cast about for useful clues. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors. Not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? Mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around the old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. I'm definitely hiding something for sure. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising given that it's a native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Iabard, or Ilsabard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, and which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it Locus Amoenus, or whatever. I can't say that. The forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments and cultivation. Do I have to be taken down below more than I can carry and then some? Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop that hill over there. God's hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Oh, you're Stola. What are you doing here? Stack of crates on the hill is going below. That sounds promising. I'll gather the others and join you there. Okay. Oh, right there. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
I can see that, how that can be hard for a botanist.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the arcade? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
You're fine.
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
True. Very true.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Trial?
Cryle?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
We should go now while we have the chance.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
I can almost reach you.
What? There she is. Is Cryle still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Full report, wars and all. Or warts and all. Erenville was headed westwards along the path outside the Arshalan. Come, we can still catch him. Hold a moment. I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logiscon Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control centers. Gosh, why are the names so hard to speak here? Good grief. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Aaronville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Goodness. So you turn us into frogs? Unaccustomed to transfiguration? Worry not, it will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Aaronville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creatures hereabouts in that form? You are essentially defenseless. You have changed into a toad. You must remain transfigured in order to progress with the quest objective. You will return from your transfigured status if you move too far away. Look to your map for the transfiguration's area of effect. Speak with your Stola to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Ribbit. Alfie Toad and Alfie Toad and Alley Toad are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind by entering a different area, putting too much distance between you, or by speaking with them and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have your companions join you again, return and speak with them at the original location. I like this quest. Alrighty. How do I dismiss you? Well, shoot. I guess a chocobo and a bunch of frogs is gonna be very easy to tell. Look, I'm just a fellow frog is all. Oh, no. They see us as enemies. Never mind. Wait, I could do it. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, never mind.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Jeez, it's rough.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
I'm gonna lie.
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge.
Or no, they just straight up outright said, okay. So why are people acting like nothing's happening then?
I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
Holy crap, you knew it was us. Wow. Okay. He's very perceptive.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
He's very perceptive.
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Oh my gosh, wow. I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived. Yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle, this momentous duty the Forum agent mentioned. Sharlayan has been called to action, and the Tlaforo's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. Guy of sorts. Staring off the direction of Aaronville, departed, a thoughtful look on her face. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Krile for the moment, see what they think of this. That was good though, I like that. Welcome back. I trust you found Aaronville then? Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Krile and discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas just in case she decided to wander. Alright, gonna be up here. Yep.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting.
Oh, what?
She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Hydaelyn? Hydaelyn said that?
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Oh, wait. Okay.
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Menphilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That blue will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow.
Huh.
Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first, so weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread. Imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower.
Yep.
Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Oh, Fortuno.
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Oh, that's such bullcrap. You piece of forum-loving crap. We just simply asked to use the lift. You said no, we left.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
I'm definitely with Alphino on this one. We've done nothing wrong here.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge. But the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact.
And what impact? The fact that we were right and you are hiding something?
With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion.
Okay. And we're also sort of helping you with that. Oh my god. That piece of crap. Oh my god.
And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
Disruptive, yes.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
Oh, hell no.
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Are you
Grah! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Apparently learning knowledge or anything in this stupid city is considered freaking, like, terrible. Even though this city is literally made for studying knowledge and getting a better understanding of what their history is, what the other histories of the other people are, and all that. Like, it's good grief, this is.
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
He had access. He's freaking Archon.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Yeah, let's. I'd like to speak with these pieces of crap.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse.
Oh, you shush your mouth, Fortuno.
But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Oh, great. That form-loving scumbag. Jeez. Apparently studying and actually going around the long way is considered against Charlene's rules. Ugh. Oh, great. Literally had access to this.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The Forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuno, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Charlean assistance. Since then, Certain individuals, dissatisfied with our decision, have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You can't be serious. If anything, we were helping you.
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man.
I think this is the first time we've actually seen Kryle's appearance without her hood on. It's interesting. Anyways. No. He would not be ashamed.
Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
And they know it too. But they refuse to do anything.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Very true.
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policy-making process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony.
Idleshire.
The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, There is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore.
And what would that be? Better start explaining.
Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle?
If you can just tell us what it is, maybe we'll understand, but if you can't...
We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me.
There you go, Alpha now.
So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these Scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Interesting.
Order! We will have order!
Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
God.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences.
Rather face it.
Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Oh, great. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigations have not been in vain. We know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Sharlayan. The overall picture has grown clear, yes? But that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may, is Father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family? Alphino, Alize, it is you. When I heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother... Oh. Oh boy. Amélian Levier, at your service. And you fine people must be the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. We're all shocked. Mother, please. We don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches Father that you were here... Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fortuno are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. Timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Thancred's group and reconsider our options. Go visit your home. We will be back at the Annex when you are ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure we... You, what do you think? Him. Oh boy. What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Mouth's still open and... Yeah. But we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit. Should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. If you would be so kind to escort my children to the estate. And then she was gone. And with her, the opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Wow, okay, that was fast. I apologize. My mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I'm glad, relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany us on our visit home? Fine, if we're going, let's get it over with. But be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers, thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away. Childhood toys. I mean, never mind. Olivia stays that way. Straight down the stairs, come on. Alphino and Alize are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with the quest objectives. You can leave your... Yep, okay. Same thing. Oh boy. Wow. When Alize and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother or servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. And now look at us, traveling to different continents, different worlds, even. As children, Alphino and I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless and leaning over the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at that exact moment, came pounding down the path in a panic, crying out my name. Aw, that's nice. Well, this is sure to be interesting. And here you are at last. Please do come in. Wow. Okay.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at?
It's just, just admiring the craftsmanship. House Levior in all its grandeur. Scion headquarters must seem squalid indeed.
Oh, gods, please don't. It makes me feel like a spoiled princess.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
Alright.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures.
It's nice to know.
I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying.
Oh. Yeah, probably talking about a lot of the stuff, like the fight with Xenos and Emmett Sulk would probably not be a good thing.
Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations.
Oh, okay. So she helped donate to the cause as well. Interesting.
Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience.
They certainly do.
But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name. It is plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
Okay. This is a long story.
Hey! Gifts. I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
Nice.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
Oh?
If you'd allow me, Master Alphino.
Oh! This is how he becomes a sage.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father.
Ha! Oh, I love the continuity here. It is so good.
Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field.
Ha! And he's worried about his children going out there and fighting and all that. If he was in the field too.
He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless.
Huh.
Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry. I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
Well, it's gonna be hard, considering the fact that he doesn't even want them to participate in this war.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortunato has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Alright, I really like that. That was really cool. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice. As will these tokens of home that we carry with us, these gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Where do we go? Balthisian Annex? Alright. Oh, I never even attuned here. Why don't we get all these ether rights and all that so we're officially done with them? I think that would be a good idea, probably. So we got all of the etherite. Yep, we have all the aetherites and all that. And now I believe we're able to teleport to officially Labyrinthos now. Yep. We can teleport to Labyrinthos from now. Sweet. That's gonna make it much easier to get there. Alright, well, I think that concludes this path. Enjoyed our time with the Leviers? Or enjoyed your time with the Leviers, I hope. I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we can help them to reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret of the Forum strives to hide. The flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin is sure to guide us going forward. I'm confident that once you've scouted out the situation in Thavnair, we'll be well equipped to plot our next move. Alright, that ends that side. That ends that quest there. Or that quest line. Maybe now we'll be able to see it. Hoping. Yes, there was one cutscene that we missed because I needed to get going. I was about to miss something very important. There we go. Maybe not? Nope, it does not appear to be. Okay. Well, maybe when we finish this next set of quest lines, that's when we'll be able to see the cutscene. I'm sure that's what it is. Like, it has to be all quest lines, because people can just switch between them and go through both of them. But anyways, I think I've made a bit of progress already, as we've now ended this quest line over here. So we'll get to this quest line here shortly, where we will be going to Thavnair. But in the meantime, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll stream this next time, and I'll be doing the Thavnair stuff next time. Anyways, see you later guys, bye.